Yeah, I think yes. Okay, so today we'll be working more on hands-on, as I said earlier. And as we are doing that, we'll continue from where we stopped in our last class. And today, as I continue from where we stopped, I want us to also be practicing everything we will be doing. So as I'm teaching it, so we'll also be replicating it and we'll be working on it together. So as we continue from where we stop. So I'm going to send, I think the link is in the chat, so we can join the link. So once we enter and join the link, just enter the name and join the link. So we'll all be on the same platform. I will be doing the hands-on and we'll be doing the typing together. So I'll wait for us to join. So I'm waiting for us. Okay, so I'm not seeing anyone yet.
I'm in. It says, what should we call you? And I put my name there.
Oh, okay.
What else should I press? Run code or what?
Okay, just type something so I know. Jan, just type your name there if you are there.
Yes, I've typed in my name because it says, what should we call you? So I typed in my name.
So you click on OK, so I can see Bolaji on the screen now.
Yes, I clicked OK.
Okay, yeah, so you see a blank page like the one you are seeing on the screen now. Okay, so let's go to next line and type, so let me know.
Next line.
Okay, so let me know who is there. Just type your name and okay. So people, if you are in, just go there and type to register the idea. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I can see people in. Okay. So now now we can continue. So the last class we stop at array methods. And while we are using the array method, we did push. That's the last thing we did. So can we still remember what is push doing as an array method? What is the function? Can anyone? Let's just do a quick, very brief overview. So from there we continue.
Yeah, push help us to add the additional values to an array.
Okay. Yeah, good. So now from last class, where Dami was talking about array. So now let's see array as this is another concept. Now let's see array as a file. So if array is a file now, and inside that file you want to add a folder. Sorry, let's see. I want to use a layman's language now. So to explain it now, so you want to add a folder. You want to add a file inside that folder. So, you can add a file if maybe we have like 10 A4 paper inside one folder, just sit as a physical folder now. So you can do several operation you want inside that folder. Maybe you want to remove one A4, put another A4. I don't know if you are getting that concept. Or maybe you want to even insert a new folder inside that folder. Do you understand? Okay. So look at that concept in that way now. So now, if maybe like where I used to do when I was in college, so I have a folder that I used to sort in my results when we collect our results every semester. So I arrange it. So I will just put under the first semester. So when my second semester comes, I will put it under. I keep arranging it like that. Do you understand? So see that concept. So at a point, when I want to do my clearance, there's a folder I use for my registration in 100 level. I put it inside that folder. So in that, when we get there, it's something we call nested. When you put an array inside an array. Do you understand? So we get here. So I want us to continue from that push that we stop. So in that push now, using that concept of folder, you have a folder and you have some things in it, some elements in it, but you don't know what it is. But you want to put something at the end of it. Just like in another programming language, let's say in Python, you call it, this push is called like append, that you want to append. So when you push, it's going to go to the end of our element. So if we have like 5 elements inside that array and you push inside, it's going to go to the last, it's going to be the last element there, right? We get that. So what about if we don't want to put it inside, I don't want it to be the last element.
Mm.
Do you understand? We
Yeah,
want it to be
question I asked that day, but I'm still waiting for the answer.
okay. So we are going to do that today. So let's assume we have an array like this. So I will come here. So okay, don't let me make it nested yet. So let's assume we have an array like this.
Mm.
So now if I have an array like this and I want to put another element, like I want to input another thing and inside this array. Remember what we are going to do, right?
Yeah.
We are going to push to it.
Mm.
We're going to do, okay, let's say colors dot push. So we say, okay, what are we pushing?
Mm.
We say, okay, let's push new. So
But the bracket you are using, can we use that bracket as well?
So like Dami said, you can use both. Oh, sorry, I do.
The
Sorry, don't
bracket.
mind me. Yeah, that is not, I didn't console it, so I was expecting another. So like Dami said, we can use both double quotes or single quotes. If you remember in our last, so we can use quotes. You can either use single quotes or we use double quotes. So both is going to work. So let's now console dot, is it color or colors? Let's now do our console.log now and see. We see that it has been append to it.
Mm.
Do you understand? So like what we did in the last slide. So now, what we say like what push, when we do something like pull and pull, when we in a more, in a door of a more, let me just use a more, we used to see something like pull and push. They are both PP. Then another method there that I'm going to introduce is what we call pop.
Sorry, Shane.
You said?
I was asking about the bracket, so we can as well use this bracket instead of
okay, you mean the quote,
instead
right?
of bracket.
Bracket.
I said that method us we are going to that we use for array we use bracelet bracket. There's this kind of brackets that we have when you declared.
Okay, now don't get it confused. Now this is when you want to declare an array. So we use something like this. We use this angular bracket.
Mm.
So this angular bracket shows that it is an array. So if I should look at this, I will say, okay, this is an array. Do you understand? But here, we want to perform a function inside, we want to perform an action inside that array.
Mm.
Do you understand? And now the action we want to perform, because now let's assume, okay, let me use, okay, that was not even the question. Like this is a string, we know, okay, this is a string. So what we want to do, we want to perform an action inside that array, that array. And when we want to perform this action, we want to use a method, an inbuilt method. Do you understand? So in this inbuilt method, it has, because once it is a method, so all methods are like functions. So when we get there, you will understand functions when you get to functions. So all methods are like functions. So functions accept parameters and arguments. So now this push method accepts this parameter new. And once it's accepts this, it's going to perform this function that we ask it to. And the function is always put this thing we put inside this bracket, inside the last element. So this is used for declaration of an array. Do you understand? But what I did here is I'm performing an action inside that array that I declared. I don't know if you understand. Do you understand, or you want me to say that again?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So now, this will lead me to another principle we call pop. Now, how does pop works? Pop works exactly like push works. So when we push to an array, it's going to be the last element. But what about when we do pop? Then it's going to be what? The first element.
Okay.
So now, this is this color now. You know that when we want to push, we said we want to push something inside. Do you understand?
Mm.
I want to push. Then the thing is now asking me, maybe, okay, I come to meet this guy and I say, okay, oh, fine, I want to push something. He's now asking me what. So when he asks me what is it, I put in new. He put it here at the end. We see it in this output. So here is just, okay, this is an array and there is new there. So what if I want to use pop? Will I have to input what I want to use inside, what I want to pop inside it? Do you understand? So the question is no. Whereas I'm going to go to the website that gave us in the developer. We're going to see how it works now after I do this. So pop is always removing the first element. Do you understand? So pop doesn't accept any parameter or any argument, because you used to use parameter and argument. You used to use it and test if they can use it together when it comes to function. So it doesn't accept anything because we are removing from the first element in the array. So now, if I should come here and do, okay, let me now do colors dot pop. So when I do colors dot pop, before when we use push, like I want to push, I want to put something. But when I want to pop, I want to remove something. But what I want to remove, I know it's going to be what? I know what I want to remove. So I'm not putting anything. Now let me use now, let's say console dot log. So we want to console our color now. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I said remove the last one. Sorry. That's my mistake. So it's going to remove the last one. The thing we just input now, we input new. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So that was a mistake. Or let me be sure I did. Yeah. So if you want to remove the first one, I think we use shift and on shift. That's when we want to remove That's when we want to remove that here. Okay. So, okay, let me just comment this out first. Okay, let's run again. So it's see that it removed the last one. So these are color. So I pop color, so it removes the null. So this push is used to push to the last element, and pop will move the last element. Sorry, I missed it up. That is the first. Sorry, it's the last. So now let's go to developer. What's it called? Okay, let me just search pop in JavaScript and see how it works too in our developer. Okay, developer Mozilla. Okay. So now this pop. This is an example. I just want to look at the description. Okay, sorry, I want to look at the place that shows us how it works. I think this one is an example. Okay, so like pop removes an element from the array. So what element does it remove from the array? It removes the last element. Push, we always push to the last element. Do you understand? So just know push and pop, they works with the last element. So if I want to push, I'll go to the last, it's going to push to the last element. And if I want to remove the last element, I will use pop. So they work P and P, like when we see the pull and push on our door in the mall. So it's like in a reversible way. So that's how these two works together. So now, as we are done this now, I want us to do something now. Like 4 people are on this platform. Okay, don't let me comment this out. Okay, don't worry. Maybe we'll do this after I do the next one. So that's how pops work. Like we have several methods, but the most commonly used one are these that we're going to talk about. So that's pop. Now again, we consider the last element. Now, how we can add to the last element, they remove from the last element. Like I said, this is an array. Remember a folder. You put a file inside the folder. Then again, you remove the last one. What if you want to remove the first one? That's when we talk about, let me comment this out. Here we're now going to talk about shift and unshift. So from the word, just use the concepts from the word shift and unshift. That means if I'm sitting somewhere like the common language you used to use in Nigeria, like shift, like create a space for me. Although it's not correct, but like create a space for me. So if I say create a space for me, that means you are going to leave where I am. Do you understand? And the on means the reverse of shift. So let's start with, I think we should start with unshift. So unshift also works exactly the way push works. Now, when we are using push, it accepts an argument or a parameter. Let's use accept an argument, like when we want to push something to the last element, we have to put something in it that, okay, I want this thing to be in the first element. So now we are done with the last element. Now we want to talk about the first, how we can push and remove. I mean, when we can add and remove from the first element. So that's the function of this shift and unshift. So we want to start with unshift. What will unshift do? Unshift will push the element to push the element into the first index of our array. So after this, we're going to talk about index of an array. So it's going to put the element I want to put inside in the first index. So now let's try this out. How does this work? Just like push, what we did in push. So now let's do colors dot on shift. Then what do you want to put in? New element. Now let's console dot log colors. Now, can you see what happened? It pushes this new element here. This is our array initially. It sounds decreasing to none. But when we use on shift, it push this. We are telling the okay, on shift this, like put this in the first as the first element inside this array. Push, you said, okay, push this thing as the last element inside this array. Do you see the difference now?
Yes.
Do we get it, or it's kind of confusing? Just let me know if it's confusing or you are getting it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got it. But what I want to ask is, after we have typed in colors dot on shift, and we have added what we want to add, we must then type console.log.
So like console.log is like I want to get the output of what I did. That's why I'm seeing it here. If I didn't type console.log, it will show okay, this thing has run. Can you see?
Okay. What if you just click enter? It will not come out.
Enter, like just click enter.
After
like
typing, yes, after typing color dot on shift and you click enter, the output will not show.
No, the output will not show. Now, and it's even depend on different environment. There are some environments in which if you put it, you just click on run, it's going to run it for you. But yeah, we want to more in JavaScript. You have to, it's even mostly in other languages, even in Python too. You have to print what you did when you are doing a test. That's why you see console.log. Like you want to log out what we did to see. So most of the time, it's always very used in debugging to see, okay, well, let me console and see what the output is. But mostly when we are developing, like we are doing production, sometimes that's when we use function, and most of the time we use return.
Okay.
But we still get there. So now we want to output what we did to see it. So now when I click on run, we didn't see anything. So now do the console. Okay, let's console.log and see what's the output. Did we get what we are doing, or is there an error there? Do you understand? Okay. So now we know how to push to the last and how we can remove. So we know how to put in a new element. I need to add to like a first element. And now we'll be going to how can we remove this thing that we just add? Maybe we did a mistake, or I'm just using that as an example. So like the folder I'm using before, we slotting a folder as the first element. I said, oh, this thing shouldn't be here. Let me remove it. Then just remember shift and unshift. So although there are other several methods, so when you go through the documentation, you are going to know, but we're still going to go through, just do a scan of on others to see others and how it works. So we want to use this and how it's being used. So now, if I want to remove these elements, and that's why we use shift. I don't want to waste much time on that because we still want to do a lot. So let me just do this. So don't worry, I will still copy all this line of code and put it in our file. So here we'll talk about shift. Just like push, we know that we are dealing with the first element. So then it's not going to accept any argument like we did in pop too. So let us we want to do this, is going to be colors dot shift. So we already know what this is going to do. That is going to remove this element. So let's comment this out. So we say, okay, color dot shift. So when we run it, you see, we don't get any result. So let's now see if what we did is correct. Let's console our output. So what is it that we want to console our colors? We want to see what is there. So can you see, these are our colors. It's removed the first one, which is crimson, and it starts with blue till no. Do you understand? So I just put this one together. I just name it color. So it doesn't really, I just put an array together. I use different data types. So that's why I just put this array like this. You know, you can put anything together. Like what that means, you can have different data types in an array. It's not necessarily it's going to be a particular data type. So here we have string. Okay, they are even all string. So they are even all string. So just like it's not in repeat color. So don't mix it up like that, chef. So now we know how to remove the first, the last. We know how to add the first and the last now. Now, what about if we want to access other members inside this array? Maybe I want to access this blue. Will I have to be doing shift twice? So I will remove this one. Do you get what I'm saying? So this will lead us to index of an array. So now with index, you can do most of the things that we did earlier with index. So now I want to do index of an array. And in first class, I think it's the first class, Amy was talking about index and position. Do we still remember? Hello.
Hi.
Do we still remember index and position?
Index and position.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in first class.
No.
Second class.
No, what we're talking about is
Oh, you mentioned it. Okay, but I will have to go about it. So now,
we
let me
did
now
not
use.
go into that.
No, so now we want to talk about index and position. Now let's assume we are 30 in class.
Mhm.
And as a student, I'm the position, my position in class is seventh position. So when you want to have the seventh position is Shegun, the first position go to this person. So 30 as the number of students in class. So, but then in JavaScript, there's something we call position, which is the actual position of the elements. Let's use in an array. Like from here now, if you count the number of elements here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So position means the number of, like if you are 30 in class, then we are 30 in class. But index equals to position minus 1. So let me just try to put something here like this. So index means number of, or let me use the word length of. So now if you are 30 in class, then, I mean, no, this is not index, sorry, this is position. Position, I'm talking about position. So I can say if we are 30 in class, then if we want to calculate our length, that means our numbers, then we are 30. But when we want to talk about index, let me just give a space here. Okay, so index, okay. Index means position minus 1. So now how does it work? We know when we said in programming always starts from 0, like when we do normal our integer, say 1, 2, 3. But here we can't 0 to x. How will I call it now? So let me say we start from 0 to 9, unlike 1 to 10 in the conventional numbers, when you say 1 to 10. But in programming, we always start our numbers from 0, that is 0, 1, 2 to 9. That's the numbers we have. So now, position starts from the normal number convention that we have, like 1 to 10. But index starts from 0. Now, looking at this array now that we have up here, we have crimson blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I want to say, okay, what is the length of this array, or what is the numbers in this array? We say we have 6, right?
Yes.
Now, if I want to say, okay, since we have 6, what is the index of the last element in this array? What will it be?
5.
Good, 5. So that means this one we give it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is how you get index of an array as we're moving forward. Always know that it's position minus 1, or let's say the length minus 1. So, okay, let me quickly go to what is the length. So there's an inbuilt method in which you can use to find our length. Let me just do something now. Let's say console.log. I think it's colors. Okay, let me see. Colors.length. Okay, it's length. Okay. Oh, I see my spelling. Length. What's spelling of length? L-E-N-G.
G.
T-H or
T
H-T?
H. TH is correct now.
Is it correct now?
Mm.
Okay, there's no bracket here. Okay. So can you see now that it's 5? Oh, okay, sorry. So let me do this. You know, we have on shift it. So you know this thing is working from up, down. This is the color, it is 6. We now on shift it, remove 1. Do you understand? When we remove 1, it's now become 5. That's why we're getting 5 output here. So let me uncomment this. Okay, let me uncomment this. So you can now see that we got 6. So it's because it's running from up. That's why we have it 5. So now I know that the element here is 6 inside this array. So if I want to find any index in this array, I mean any element, don't let me come, any element in this array, then now we have to access what is their index. So element 1 we definitely have an index of 0. So element 2 here we have an index of 1. So element 3 we have an index of 2. So there was this comedy I read, like programming comedy. So a wife was complaining to her husband that he didn't always have my time. So the husband now said, in the array of my interest, you are number 1. And the wife was so happy that, oh wow, I'm number 1. So now coming to programming perspective now, it is the wife did not aware that there is something we call the index of 0. So technically she's position 2. Thinking she's the first position. Do you understand now? Do you get my joke?
Yeah, but yeah. So the
You want?
the first position, which is here now, the first one is what
Okay,
color?
yeah.
The first one
So,
is crimson. So what do we do with that if we want to get the index?
okay. So now, if you want to, if maybe I have something here now, and I want to get the index, and I don't know what it is. Now, let's assume I don't know this, but I know that there is. Let's say this one is signal. I know there is something, but I don't know the. I know that it's blue here, but I don't know the index of it. So if I want to find the index of that, let me just. I can use something we call the index of. Let's say console.log. Then I can do So what we have colors, right? Dots. We have something like index of, let me show you, okay, index of what you want to find. Let's say blue. Do you understand? Look, whenever you write the code, ask yourself, this thing I'm doing. Then from there, you can easily see that is it going to accept a parameter or an argument, or is it not going to accept anything? You say you want to find index of, then that means you have to input something there that I want to find the index of, right? So
Yeah,
now,
but with crimson, I'm asking of the first one.
no, I just put this that let assume I'm still going to change that. Let assume you don't know what is inside this array. Now let assume we don't know what is inside this array. The array is hidden from us. Do you understand? But want to know the index of, we just know, okay, I think we have blue in it. So I want to find the index of blue now. Can you see it is 1? So now let's find crimson.
Okay, crimson is going to be 0.
Yes. So if I want to find crimson, it's going to tell me that crimson is an index of 0.
Yes.
Do you understand now?
Yeah.
So now we know when we did this at the initial, what we did is how to add elements to an array, and to add to the last, to add to the first, to remove the last, to remove the end. So now let assume I want to add elements to any, so I want to add, how would I call it? A new color inside my array, but I don't want it to be the first and I don't want to be the last. Or
At
I
the
want to
middle.
get, yeah, the middle or anywhere. And I want to
Or
get what is,
any position.
or I want to get what is inside my array, the specific index, the specific position. Let me still use the word position. That's where what indexing comes. So index can do a lot of things for us.
Wow.
Do you understand now? So index can do a lot of things for us. So now the question is, how do we index?
Okay.
So it will now come back to the first question you ask when we are talking about how to what's it called? How to do the bracket, when you're talking about brackets rather. So now it now comes to that. Now, if I want to find the index of, let me bring this down again. So I need to be very fast because I think I want to comment this out. So
why are you dumping a lot of spaces? Is there any reason for this?
Okay, Numi, I don't want to jam pack everything so we can able to see everything. So we must have enough space to, So let's assume we have this color now. Now, and I want to find the index, this area. I want to find the index of maybe green or any of it. So now to represent that, now I can do colors. Then this, excuse me, this bracket, this angular bracket. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So that's where we now we come in. Let me just say, we want to find the index of color of 1, console.log colors. Let's see our output. Oh, am I doing wrong? Oh,
I thought
I
you were
just
looking for the index of
I
one
just
a
console.
particular color.
So
Mm.
what I did is I just console the colors alone. So what I will
Mm.
have to do is this. I'm looking for these colors, right?
Yeah.
What I put here, I just need to put. Okay. Don't worry. I have to put this color. I'm console the index of 1. That is blue. So what I did earlier, we can do it. Maybe I want to name it a new variable, like okay, let's new color equals to colors index of, let me say 3. So here, oh sorry, colors equals to 3. So here I'm declaring a new variable, and I want it to be equals to index of this color and index number 3. Please, if it's getting complicated, just let me know if you're not getting it. Hello, are you following me?
The
Okay, don't worry.
initial
Wait. Let me, before I get there, let me try. Before I get here, let me still do some things here before I get it. So now I want to console out. I want to print, or sorry, console or print anything. The index of this array, I want to maybe the index of 3. That would be position what? 4, right? Are you with me?
hello,
So,
the thing was breaking from my end.
oh, okay. Can you hear me very well now?
Yes, I can hear now.
Okay, so I don't know if others too can hear me, so it won't be really comfort as well. I hope others too are following.
Yes, we are following.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Just want to confirm. So now I want to print out the index of 4 or anything. So now what I do is I want to say console that output out. Then console colors of what? When you are writing, you should be interpreting into your mind. I say, okay, print or word console dot log this array of index of maybe 4 or anything. I say, okay, print this thing out for me. Or show me on the screen what this output will be. When I run it, it runs purple. But because we see the, let's confirm, is it right? This 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Do you understand? Okay, now let's go to index. Let's go to this place and see how it will work. Is it here? I think this is index of. So another variable, okay, let me go to, let's try this W3 school. Another variable site is W3 school. So there you can also be practicing on this, on their site too. Index of array in Javascript. Okay, so let's, okay, now so from looking at this, you can also be practicing here too. If you go to W3 school and you want to go to any method, just go to the method and click on it. And from here now you can see, try yourself. It will take you to another website in the home page. So from here you can just come here and start manipulating it. And okay, this is the from here, this is, don't mind, this is because of we are using as an HTML. So this is what we want to do. They gave us const car equals to these three cars. Now say find index of this. So we can say, okay, what is the index of, let's try and manipulate it. Then we run it. Car equals to this. When we run, it should give us output here. Let me see. Okay, let's just console it here. I think console.log. Okay, let me do something here. Okay, let's say cars of 0, and let's see if it's going to print for us here. Okay, this is not working, but it should work. Let me try and refresh. Oh, what are they? Let me see. Okay, let me go back. Okay, they just put the output here. Okay, I think it do work. I don't know. If you try it by yourself, if you click try it yourself, you should be able to manipulate it and get it. But this site too is very good. So like index of 0 will always give you this. And then let's go back to our platform initial work. So do you get this indexing of 18? Do you get this index?
Yeah.
Okay, now what if
Do you
I
know
want
I
to
was
change?
thinking,
Okay.
I was thinking, I was thinking that we would do something like to say something dot index to be able
Oh,
to
okay.
get the index.
Okay, yeah. So this works differently. You know, like I'm talking like okay, 0 is like that folder.
Like
They want to like
we're
that.
doing push on shift, this, that.
Oh, okay. So
Mm.
the only one that works in that, if you want to find the like the number, like what you did your index or where is it? When we print out the number there, where do we do that? I think we do it somewhere here. So I need to be fast because I still want us to do a practical challenge now. So with this now, we're able to get the index of this. What if we want to manipulate this? We want to change this index of 4, which is purple. We want to change it to maybe red. What do you think we can do? Can anybody tell me? Can anyone try? Just type on this. Just type on this. Let's see. Just try. Let's see.
We want to change it to red.
Yeah. Or okay, just take any index, and maybe you want to change any index and change it to another thing. Let's see.
Okay,
Just
I
try.
think first of all, okay.
Type
I think
type it on the platform.
where can I type? Okay.
Yeah, go there and
Color
type.
colors dot pop colors dot pop the colors dot pop. Then they want to change purple to red. Okay, 1, 2,
No,
3.
we are not using pop now. We are using index.
Okay.
Here we are using index now. Initially we are using pop, we are using push. Now we want to use index.
Okay, I was thinking we'll use pop to remove, then we'll now give
Yeah,
another
we
command
use,
to replace
yeah,
it with
yeah. What if I can't be, I want to remove and add another thing. So that will now do okay, this dot pop, remove it, push, remove, add.
Mm,
Do you understand? That one
that's what.
looks,
Mm.
yeah. So now how can we use this array and change this thing? You can try, just give it a try once, just type.
So what I want to type is what I'm typing colors
Mhm.
dot pop. Then I'll put this bracket.
No, let's
But you have
forget
said it's
about
not
pop,
pop.
push or anything. Now we are on array.
Mm.
Can anyone try? Just want you to lay your hand on it and try. Just give it a try. When I said something earlier that what you just do is you go to the index. Like what Comfort is typing now. It's okay. Colors array of index of 4, right?
Yeah. I
Okay, what
wanted to
if
put 4 in that pop, the bracket pop.
what if we do something like this? Will it work? Just let's be using our mind to do this programming.
Mm.
Okay, let me say, okay, I want to declare. Okay, should we declare a new variable? Okay, let's just say this. Okay, let me use something. Okay, let's do something. Let's say console.log. Let me do this. We say console.log colors. I'm get this spelling. Okay, index of
Good.
4 is now equals to, let's say, yellow. Will this work?
Okay, this is when you are instead of red, you said you want to change it to yellow.
I think
Does it work?
we could start with let color 4 equals yellow.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I
You
wanted to type. I just
have to
did
declare it
a,
first.
yeah. So we can say this. So if I want to print this to be equals to yellow now, you can see what I did. I make it to be equals to yellow. So technically, from there I can say, this thing, when we did it here, we have declared this variable.
Mm.
What we are doing here is like everything we are doing, they are colored or shift or do this. It's just like we are reassigning. Do you understand? Just like I think it's Balaji said now. So I can just do the same thing I did here. Do you understand? I can bring it out and say, okay, let me cut. We are still going to console color. Let's say new colors equals to, no, should we do it like that? No, it's only going to print that. Okay, don't let's put it another. We can just say this. Don't let's use
I
another.
think this
So I've
this is
made this.
understandable.
So now let me now run this. Do you see? So I've renamed this index to be yellow. I now console my color. Can you see? Do we still have blue there? No. Can you see now? So it has replaced this Is it purple? Yeah, it replaces purple back to yellow.
Yeah, we don't know purple again.
Yeah, so we can do it for anyone. We can say, okay, well, I want to replace the last one. Colors index of maybe 2. I want it to be let me say white. So just what did I do? Oh, okay, sorry, spelling. Can you see? It has reassigned it. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to reassign what is inside my arrays to this. I want us to be very fast. We still want to do a little bit a challenge. Okay, well, try my best. Do you understand what I did here now? Can we use index to do it? So we can say that if I want to do this initially, I'll be using pop. I will use pop, remove this null. I will use pop. I will now use pop, remove this. Do you understand? Then I will now push again. And with that, you can easily reassign it with index. Do you understand? So now the next concept I quickly want to go to now is so the next concept I really want to go to, because our time is going and I want us to do a lot of things. I want us to do now, if we have many, let me just go and copy the array that I have. Okay, let's assume we have this array. So this will lead us to another thing we call sort. So let's assume we have this array now. So when people, okay, you know, when students, we say students want to input their information, like, okay, we build a system in which, like the one we did in last lesson. So people, students are registering on a platform and they are inputting their name. And when we input their name, we get these arrays. Oh, so that one doesn't collate. I'm using name, I'm using, but just, I hope you understand. Let's assume we are inputting the names of this fruit now. Sorry. Let us say we are using the name of this fruit now. We have banana, orange, apple. We have
mango.
Yeah, how do you know my mind? That's what I wanted to add. We have mango and we have just like, so now we want to
Now
arrange
you
this thing
have 2 mangoes
alphabetically.
there. You have 2 mango there.
Oh, mango is there before. I've never even seen it.
That's right.
Sorry, I've never even seen it. So now we want to arrange this thing alphabetically. So there's another function too we use, which is sort. So just like we use pop and push, so we could just use that one, like fruits dot sort. Is it fruits dot sort? And the sort, like I said earlier, when you are typing, you have to be filling it. Like you want to sort something, then will it accept anything as an argument or parameter? Can someone tell me? I think you should assert something, right? Why do you say so?
Why we should assign something to it?
No, like should it accept something? Like should we put in something? Like we know when we do push, we said this dot push, then we say, okay, we want to push something inside. But when we did pop, we said, okay, we just want to remove it. So we are not going to, it's not going to accept anything. So we are not going to put anything inside. Do you understand? It's not going to accept anything as an argument or parameter. Now we want to use the word sort. From when you are filling it, will it accept anything or it will not accept anything? Okay, in order not to waste time. So looking at this, it will not accept anything because we want to sort it. We are just giving an instruction, arrange this thing alphabetically. So we are not putting anything inside of it. So now let's print our fruit. So console.log fruits. Now let's see what's going to happen. It arrange everything A, B, M before O. Do you understand? So let's assume we have let me just quickly clear this and use this as an example. Let's assume we have 1, 3, 4, 5, 50, 44, 55, 21, 36. So now I've been using what's it called? String before. So let me just change to an integer. Do you see it sorts everything? Does it? 44. Now why is this 4? Okay, so this does this not work for I'm not let me check. I think it works too for numbers, sorts too. Let's check.
Why is this purple still showing here?
Where is that? No, because it's going to be running it from beginning from here. It's going to be running it here. So we have not commented out this.
Okay.
Do you understand? So this is what we are considering. So it's running it from beginning to end.
From the beginning.
Okay, so now let's come here. So this is our friend. So let's go to sort. How is sort used? Let me just check sort here. So this is sort. The sort works for integer. Yeah, here is it. So this is what we did, right? So let's see how it works. Okay. Okay, it works. Oh, okay. Okay. So like look at their own example. Okay, it's sorted, no? Okay. Okay, can we just pause this and we get back to this? Let's continue with what I have. Let me just comment this. Let me comment this like this. So we'll come back to this first. Like when I was in Java in Python, this works so perfectly. So I forgot I'm not using Python. So when you want to sort in Python, we use sort too, and it's sort for both integers and for both integers and what do you call it, strings. So now I quickly want to go to margin of two arrays now. Now let's assume we have these two arrays.
So
okay, I'm listening to you. Yep.
Yeah, when it sorted these numbers, these integers. Are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm with you.
Yes, the result came back with 121, 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't. So what it's doing here is sorting it like in twos. Like if we look at this 1 and 21, then it will go back to the next element. Like this is the smallest. Do you understand? Like it divide the array into two. Like it take 1, 3, 4. Do you understand? And 21, it takes them together and take the highest one together. So you now do 1, then the next one that is smaller is 21. Then you go back to 3. Then the next one that is smaller is 34. Then you go back to 4. Then the next one that is smaller is 44. Then 55 and 50, 67. So that's how it's did. So I still have to look at this and see how it works. I'm not sure of it, but in Python, it works like this so perfectly. So I was thinking it's going to work like this for integers too, but it doesn't work. So I will just get back to what's on this.
Are you saying
Do you
in
understand?
Python? Are you saying
Okay.
in Python we have 1, 3,
3, 4,
4,
yes, exactly. 21.
Okay.
We have 1, 3, 4, 21, 34, 44,
21,
55,
yeah.
67. It's going to sort it numerically.
Okay.
And it's going to sort it alphabetically to what's for both integers and string. Do you understand? So let's quickly go to this. So I will put it in our chat how it works and whatever. So I want to go to margin of an array. Like, how do we merge
But I
two
would have
arrays?
loved you to check that this fruit, to see how it sorted the fruit. You didn't show us the output of fruit.
No, I think we did. Okay, let's go back to.
No, we didn't get the output of fruit, whether it's sorted alphabetically.
Let's go back. Let me go and copy it. I think I have it. Yeah, okay. Let me quickly copy and change. I'm mindful of the time. Okay, so let's uncomment it.
Okay.
So when we did fruits, that's why I said like it did everything alphabetically from A, B, M, N, O. Do you get? Can you see this? Let me comment this thing out so you'll be able to see the latest one.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's just for string. It's able to do everything arrange everything alphabetically.
Yeah, but numbers is confusing.
Yeah. So I will check out another method that we use for numbers too.
Okay.
Or how to work. So, oh, sorry, I've commented this out. So we can see for the fruits. I'm talking about this. Oh, sorry. So this, you can see it arranges everything alphabetically. Okay, so now let's assume we have two different arrays and we want to match them together. Like you want them to be together in one array. How are you going to do that? So to do this too, it's very easy too. So I'll just let's assume we want to make it a new variable or a constant or anything. So let's say const children.
Yeah, now you are using const.
Yeah, I do. It can be a variable or a constant. Okay, you want us to use let, right?
It's not that I want or I don't want. I just want to know, like, is there at any stage where we are transiting from one keyword to another?
No. When we are saying it, when that means saying last, like a constant does not change. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, like what I've been doing here now, if you should notice here, when I come to color, I use let. Do you understand? And when I use let, I was reassigning, I was changing. I didn't mean it was const that I use here. I won't be able to do everything I did here. Do you understand? If it's constant, it cannot change.
You can manipulate it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we are using let. So that's the reason why we could be able to manipulate it and change everything we want to change. So I'm just changing the variable to constant. It doesn't really have any basis in which it depends on what you are doing. Like what I mean is that this thing is constant. You can't change. Maybe you have given birth now, and you can't change your children again. It's always constant. Do you understand? So the boys you have to, they are constant. You can't manipulate them. So it just looks, it just looks logical when you are writing your code. You know which one to be constant, you know which one to be variable. Like my foot now, I want to manipulate. I can't make it constant because I won't be able to manipulate it. Do you understand? I
Yes,
hope you
please go
get that.
ahead. Yeah,
So
go
now,
ahead.
I now said I want to bring these boys and girls together to be my children. So I want to match them together. So what I would just do, okay, I want to make it my children. So I say my girls, which is the name of this. You know, when we did earlier, we talked something about concat.
Yeah,
So there's
concatenation.
this is the inbuilt method here we are going to use when we are going to join two arrays together, which is my time is spent. My time was we just quickly go through this and I just show us one thing, just bear with me. So yeah, we want to concat this and this together. So the inbuilt method we just use is this dot concat. Concat. No, as I'm typing it, I need to fill it. I thought that okay, name this my children. My guest dot concat. What again? I don't know if you are feeling it like the way I'm feeling it. So we're going to concat my boys. This is the new this variable, this variable. I want to concat it. I want to join these two together. And I say my guest dot concat. Although it's not that you know everything, but there are some things you know that okay, this is what should be. So if you don't know, you just go to the documentation and see how does this thing works. So you just go, okay, how does concat work? Okay, oh, I put in this is if you want to join several arrays together, not two. So this is how it works. If you want to join two arrays together, so you want to join array one and array two together, this is array one, this is array two, just array dot one concat. So you can anytime you are stuck, just go to the documentation. How does this thing works? So the first thing is okay, I want to do this. Then we are ready to go and you are stuck, you don't know what and how to just go to your screen. And so we want to do this concat. So now say console.log, then print my children. Sorry, console.log, I just print my children. Did I get the spelling wrong? Yeah. So now it brings Celia. Let me comment this out so you can see the last aspect. So it concat everything together. So let's assume we have
What if we use plus?
we need what?
What if we use plus?
Plus.
The sign plus.
Oh, okay. So yeah, inbuilt that doesn't work with this inbuilt method. Yes. But when it comes to that, that's when we are talking about when we want to join two strings together. Do you understand? So you know when we are talking about data type, when we are talking about the primitive and the reference, you know now we are talking more about dealing more with reference. So see the data type as like when we talk about colors, you know we have primary color and secondary color. Secondary color are based on primary color. You get out secondary color from primary color. So we get out reference is referencing our primitive data set. I mean our primitive data type rather. So in our primitive sorry, what did I want to say now? Oh, I forgot what I wanted to say now. Okay. So sorry, what's your question again? Let me just have to recall.
So
what
all
I
you are
wanted to
saying
say.
is that plus does not work here.
Okay, yeah. So it is when we want to work more with our primitive, that's when plus will work. Do you understand? But in reference, it won't work. Then that's why we have the inbuilt method. Inbuilt method is just like a written functions that has that plus inside. Do you understand? So maybe when we get to function, we get to understand how this inbuilt method. So it's like a function, it's like a written program that is being written down. Do you understand? So let's assume we have new boys now. We just have another array. We have let me say Tolu Bimbo. So now if I want to concat them, what I'm going to do is just put this here. Now I want to concat all this one with this one. Do you understand? So that's what I'm trying to do. So if you have multiple arrays, you put everything together inside this concat, and it's going to concat everything all together. Do you understand? I don't know if you get it, or you want me to still explain.
I think we understand it. I don't know about others though.
But you okay? So I don't know if others still will. Okay, but let's quickly go to something I want us to go through. I want us to cover today too, which is map functions. Can quickly go through that. So we know we have an array. Let's use this. We have this array. So when I have this array, I want to perform action on each element of the array. Do you understand? You know what we are doing previously is that we are trying to check each individual, but I want this thing to go through all of the elements or do an action. So mapping is just like when we want to map, like Google Map, when you want to map a location, like you want to get how will I explain this? You want to, for you to map a location, that means map a location, you have to go around that place and get their coordinates to get their longitude and latitude. Then it's okay, this place is longitude, so this latitude, so, and perform operations on that. Now, we want to perform operation on this. Maybe all these elements, we know this element is in an array now. So now we now want to do, okay, we want to increase all these elements in an array by 2. Do you get? We want to remove these elements in an array by 2. So if I'm working with this in Python, there's an inbuilt method that I'm just going to use. I'll just use a NumPy framework. I'll just put ×2. If I use NP I'll just put ×2 at the end of this. Everything here will multiply by 2. Do you understand? But in this method, in here, we can use a map function. So for this map function, what it just do, if it will go through each element, when we get to for loop, you understand, looping through each element of the array and performing the operation we want it to perform. Here we have this array now. We have this array to be this. So this is this is a new variable. We make this a new variable. Yeah. I mean a new constant rather. Okay, let me just remove this. We now say okay, array.1 dot map through this. And when you map through this, the way this map work is this X, that's just like when we want to do a callback. I don't want to use this term, so I don't want to confuse us. Like go to this element, like this arrow now. Let me just use it to describe, like this X start for individual elements here. So when you are looping, it's going to do the first, it will come to this first element, you perform the operation you want it to perform. After you are successful, you go to the next one. You are looping through, like it's going to each of the elements, one after the other, in orderly manner, following their index. So it will go here, do what you want to do, go here, do what you want to do, go here, do what you want to do, go here, until you get to the last one. So this X stands for the individual elements here. So this map is just like, okay, go through this map, each individual element times it by 2. I don't know if you are getting it or it's getting complicated. So if I do this, times this by 2, it's going to turn this to, it's going to multiply 2 by each of these elements. And now let's console our array 1. Okay, wait, let me return it. Let me return back to the variable and see what happened. What did I get wrong? I'm kind of rushing. Oh, sorry. Sorry, this is how we declare in Python. We don't put const or variable there. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. You know we are using const. So when I did array1 dot map, is not changeable. Now when we put it in a new variable, that's where we can be able to get this result. I don't know if you understand what just happened now. You know, before we said array1 dot map through this and do a multiplication on each of the elements. But then we are using const here. So since we are using const, it's not going to make any change to it because we are using const. Do you understand? But when we now put it inside a new variable, that's why we are able to get this. Now let's assume we want to change this to plus, or let's say minus. There's something I forgot to say when I was talking about index. I just remember index can be positive, index can be negative. I omitted that. I don't know how I omitted that. So do you get what I did here? Like our time is spent, so I'm quickly rushing it. Hello, are we still here? Oh, nobody is talking. Do you get it? I don't know if you get this principle, or I should call it a day.
What I just understood about map is that, yeah, from all you've said, when you const it, then it's going to multiply the elements by 2.
Don't get it wrong. It's going to perform the operation we want to perform on each of the elements. This is the operation we want to perform. Do you understand? Now we declare this. This is the array we have. We now ask this instruction that, okay, we have a new variable. Inside that new variable that we want, map through this array, which is array1 dot map. For each of these elements, which is x. Do you understand? So for each of these elements, perform this operation. You know, before we use multiplication, we can use anything. Just like we want you to perform an operation, we can say divided by. We can perform anything that we want to perform. We just want to instruct it that perform this operation on this element.
Okay.
Do you understand? So this x stands for each of them because it's looping through. It will go to the first one, do this. So I can say, okay, well, maybe for each element, divide by 2. So this is the operation I'm performing. So if I run this, divide each of the element by 2. Do you understand?
Yeah, nice.
So that is what the map is doing. There is something I omitted. I quickly just want to just rush there and show when I was talking about index.
Okay.
So you know where I talk about index of we did index of 4, we did index of 2. So we can also have a negative index too. So you know when we start index here, we have it to start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can start from here too. Do you understand? It's going to be negative. So let me do something here. So let's try to quickly do an example. Let's console.log. Our time, I will stop now. So let's console the index of console.log color index of 1 and see what will this give us.
I was wondering where
sorry.
you are typing.
Sorry, I didn't.
I was wondering where you are typing.
So undefined, is it? Okay, let me try something. Given us undefined. But yeah, okay, now that's the difference between, I think there's negative indexing in JavaScript. That means, is there negative indexing? Okay, yeah, so time is going good. Let me just so in Python, we have something like negative indexing. So from here you can start from the back and you're going to get it is going to be counting it from the back like this instead of going forward. So maybe in next class we talk and share more on this in our next class. So I think I need to stop here now. I don't know if you have any other question. Let me try and copy all
What
this.
is the essence of doing this map?
So map is just you are looping through. You want to go through elements of an array. You know, there is an when we get to for loop and conditional statement, we are going to understand this very, very well. When you want to perform an operation inside an element and you don't know where it is or what it is, and you want to change it, that's why you loop through it. Or maybe you loop through it and do some condition. Maybe if this one is greater than this or this one is greater, or I want to change what is there. So mapping is just like I want to look through, I want to go inside the element, then manipulate my data. I mean, or manipulate my array. So when you go through an element and you want to make changes or you want to perform operations or you want to make a statement, maybe conditional statement or so. So you are still going to understand this when we get to loops. That's when we talk about for loops. So for each of the elements when we are looping through, it just works like the way map works too. Let me copy this and put it in.
Which platform are you typing inside like this?
So this csbin.io. So it's just like an online code editor that we can share and use together to do pair programming.
Okay.
Oh, damn. I didn't. Do I record? I can't forget if I record. Let me stop recording. Oh, okay. So do you still have any other question before I stop recording now? I can stop recording now. Okay, let me stop.